Will Iskanders and Oreshniks no longer fly? On the night of February 20th, Ukraine delivered a devastating strike on a strategic facility within the territory of the Russian Federation. According to Glavred, an entire factory came under fire, which was the sole supplier of unique components for Russia's most dangerous missiles. What exactly was produced in these workshops? Why did Russian air defense sleep through an attack on such a critical facility, and how will this strike paralyze ballistic missile production in Russia for months to come? Right now, we will break down the details of the operation that has become a real nightmare for the Russian Ministry of Defense. Well, you'll find more information in our report. My name is Yevhen Sirov, and this is the Glavred channel. Subscribe and give us a like. Let's get started. According to Glavred, the plant didn't just assemble missiles, it produced high-tech components, control units, microchips, and navigation systems. These very components are the most vulnerable part of the Russian military-industrial complex due to their reliance on rare machinery and scarce materials. The strike hit precisely the workshop where the final testing of electronics for the Oreshnik missiles was taking place. The very same so-called wonder weapons with which the Kremlin tried to blackmail the entire world. Experts note the destruction of this equipment means that Russia will not be able to produce a single new missile of this type until it finds a way to restore the unique production line, which is nearly impossible under the current sanctions. What is interesting is how exactly the strike was carried out. The plant was protected by a layered air defense system, but, as Glavred reports, Ukraine used a new tactic of a combined attack. First, swarms of decoy drones overloaded the occupiers' radars, and then stealthy drone missiles struck specific coordinates. Witnesses at the scene report a series of explosions that lasted for several hours. This was the detonation of warehouses containing finished products and chemical components for fuel. Russian propaganda, as usual, claims that all targets were shot down, but the column of smoke visible from dozens of kilometers away speaks for itself. This strike is of great significance for the negotiation process. Russia used the threat of ballistic missile strikes as its main lever of pressure on the West and Ukraine. Glavred emphasizes now this argument has become much weaker. Without its components, Oreshnik remains nothing more than a pretty picture in Kremlin presentations. Western military analysts have already called this operation an example of surgical warfare. Instead of striking indiscriminately, Ukraine is targeting the brains of Russia's defense industry. This forces Moscow to consider whether it is worth continuing the escalation if key factories can go up in flames at any moment.